Hello, everyone. Today we will be looking at the past tense in French. More specifically, we will be looking at the most common past tense, which is called le passé composé. And so I will give some common verbs to the three forking tomatoes with the first person. And I will ask them to guess out of four options which one is the corresponding form or past tense form for that particular verb. Okay, so j'ai, which comes from avoir. And actually, you've seen it all across all the other questions, so maybe you know what that word means.
Oh.
That verb is
To have.
To have.
exactly to have. So A, what is the past tense then of j'ai, or the common past tense, the passé composé? Is it j'ai avait, j'ai eu, j'ai or j'ai avoir?
I was gonna go with JA, which is C.
Okay.
I have no idea why.
I'm debating between A and C, but I'll say A just to have a number of options covered by the three of us.
Okay.
Well, I was going to go with A anyway, because it just sounds familiar.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, no one got the correct answer. It is B, j'ai eu,
Ooh.
which is not very common to use, to be fair. You don't very often say I have had in French. I mean, they're not
Just like in German, you wouldn't.
say it.
But
Yeah.
you
You
would in
wouldn't
English.
generally say, yeah.
Okay, but next one. Je fais, from the verb faire.
To do or to make.
To
To
do.
travel.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly. Which can be either actually to do or to make. Can be both.
Yeah,
For example,
like
if you're making a cake, then you would say make, and for most other things it would be do. Okay, so is it A, j'ai fait, B, j'ai ferré, C, j'ai fait, with a different spelling, careful, or D, j'ai faisais?
I think it's the same as the DIS DIT logic. The D, they sound very similar, but I think it's C here. So it's the S turning into a T.
I am also going to go with C.
And Nelvin, what's your...
And my answer is also C. It's the same exact logic as Petra had, but that's also why I asked you about the infinitive, because I think all the conditions are aligned.
Okay. Well, you are correct. This time I did not trick you again. It is j'ai fait with a T and not with an S, which is very confusing just because in the present tense it's with an S at the end, and then you have to remember to change it to a T, except there are some exception verbs where you do have the S. So it doesn't make it all that easy. But you got that one right, well done. And now we are coming to je donne, which comes from the verb donner. It means to give.
Oh.
It's like donate, to give.
Oh.
It comes from the same
All
word.
right, yeah.
Okay, so A, j'ai donné, E-R, B, j'ai donné, A-I-S, C, j'ai donné with one accent, one N, D, j'ai donné with two N's and one accent. On
They all sound the same.
So
this
I'll
is
say them again because
unreal.
there is a slight difference in the pronunciation, but it's so subtle, I must admit it's very difficult to tell them apart when you just hear them. So, j'ai donné, j'ai donné, j'ai donné, j'ai donné.
It sounds like you
We
said
think we
the
just
same thing
edited this. 4 times
Which is
in
the
a row the
correct
same
option.
day.
It's a good job you've got the written form as well, otherwise...
Yeah.
What is the infinitive?
So the infinitive form is donner, er, with double N-E-R.
So I was debating between C and D, but I think C sounds more right.
I was going to go for D because I think this is a similar case as Demange.
I pick C as well because I think it's definitely an accent at the end, but because of the accent, that's where you put the emphasis and you don't need the double consonant before that. So you only need the one N.
Interesting theory, I like it. The correct answer, however, is with double N. So it is D, JEDONNE, and you're completely correct now when it's following the verb of the rule of verbs with the ER ending. So just with the accent in the end, and we do still keep the double N. I'm trying to think of a reason why. If anyone knows why, then please comment in this video. But in general, you do in most verbs you do conserve those double consonants because it's still considered as belonging to the root of the word. So let's come to our last one. Je rends, which comes from the verb rendre.
Like rendezvous and rendezvous.
Yeah, exactly. But do you know what rendre means?
It means like to move around. Like rendezvous is like the meeting point.
Yeah.
And, like it's the movement of the leg. Rendezvous.
Yeah.
And it's
but you're talking about in the case of the dance move, it's about rentre. It's the verb rentre with a T and not rendre, I think. Anyway, let's come to our four options. Je rends. Is it with the passé composé? Would you say A, j'ai rendé, B, j'ai rendu, C, j'ai rendrai, or D, j'ai rendé?
I honestly, if we follow the rule, I would have said C. But the thing is, I feel like this one kind of matches the je prends, which becomes PRIS, but obviously this is not RRIS. So I'm going to go with B.
I also want to go with B, just because it sounds very familiar.
I think the RE ending resulted in AIS last time, so I might be remembering it wrong, but I'm picking C.
Okay, so the correct answer is B. But that is also because it's again following not a regular form, which then results in us having a word with a U at the end, just randomly, just because
Why
the
not?
French language can allow it, so why not?
French.
So it is j'ai rendu.
Nice.
Yes, but you all did very well. Well done. I think it was also quite tricky because I gave you some examples, and then the second I tried, I think, to put two options of each endings of verbs, but then they're not always the same, so it's a little bit tricky. And I also wanted to reflect in this video that there are some regular forms and some irregular forms, and that's even a tense which is considered one of the most one of the easiest tenses in French is still quite complicated. I hope you had fun at home, and if you have any answers to our questions that remained, then please comment below.
Merci d'avoir regardé notre vidéo. Nous espérons que cela vous ait plu.
Si c'est le cas, pensez à liker, commenter et à partager la vidéo avec votre famille et vos amis.
Vous souhaitez en voir davantage? Allez jeter un coup d'œil à notre playlist.
N'oubliez pas de vous abonner à notre chaîne et à cliquer sur la petite cloche pour recevoir des notifications de nos vidéos à venir.